So we're going to start with the why. Why should we create a data product? And so if you've downloaded the workbook already, let me give you a peek. This is what you should be filling out right now. So for your candidate domain, really think about what's that vision and the scope. So this is what we're going to be doing in that section. And to get started, right, thinking about the scope, it's who are the users, what are their data needs, what's the data that you might have already. Right? So this is what we want to get out of this session. If we go back to think about, again, the objective of the business, now let's start with thinking about why the data product. And so for that, you need to have KPIs. And so the data product, again, one of the valuable pieces about it, it's prepackaged, right? So data project from before might require me getting somebody to access the system, getting a pool of that data, getting other data engineers and data scientists to find an insight, and then finally giving it to me. In this case, that product needs to be prepackaged. And when it's prepackaged, this is going to allow speed, right, in terms of IT speed, so reduce costs and improved efficiencies, as well as business speed, business being able to find new insights, new opportunities for business efficiency and user experience. Trust. Trust makes it easy and more secure, right? So I need to know where the data is and what to use. And so from an IT perspective, I could reduce risk because I know someone else has handled things like PII for me. From a business side, I also can reduce risk. It'd be great to be able to say, this is the product to use when you're doing things like looking up tax rates. It might be something around the models. These are the models that you should be used when computing something like predictive maintenance. It's not only certified by your business, but maybe from the manufacturer of that equipment. Real-time information, so the freshness of your data. And this is going to be able to help both from an IT perspective to be able to help with the automation, and then also from the business perspective, you can really accelerate that time to act. So for things like closed-loop automation or real-time offers. Accessibility, so making it easy to access data. So could I make it much faster to find and use? So both from an IT perspective to be able to enable our users, but also from how you partner, how you might partner B2B with your partners, with your customers, across the different lines of business. How can you actually get access to that data, making it seamless as possible? And finally, usability, making it really easy to use, right? So this should be measured in terms of the increase in number of users who are able to find that data and to start using it, but also in terms of maybe for the business, direct monetization, right? So people who are going to be able to create new business streams from using that data product. The data product itself might be a new business stream. So as you think about the scope for your product, right, let's fill out that measures of success and really push to define things that are really measurable. So I'm going to walk through an example of such a filled out version while you're working on yours, right? So this is a case for smart construction. And in smart construction, it's all about the projects. It's about project risk. And so we would like to look at these projects that can do a retrospective and identify risks and opportunities looking back in the past, but also real time as a project is ongoing. Can I actually predict and get ahead of risks and maybe identify opportunities for increased efficiency? All of this is with a promise to add AI to make this better, and then to be able to add real-time updates, right, so that you get notified right away and you can take action. So with that scope in mind, what are our measures of success? And our measures are really around, again, being able to see right away and have that predictive nature to look back in the past. I want to be able to reduce the manual efforts and errors. So I should be able to measure that. I want to be able to reduce project man hours. I could be able to have savings from that. Again, something that's measurable in terms of the outcome. From an IT perspective, I want to be able to reduce the time it took for a project manager to generate the report. A lot of this might be by making it easier to find the data, but also maybe generating the report for us in the right structure, right? So I know ahead of time both the scope of this domain and the objectives and how I'm going to measure those KPIs. So now it's time to really express that scope of the domain. And so use again, the users that you had and the use cases to think about, how much of this data do you need to answer those questions, right? So if it's around things like project progress and how a project has risk and is maybe over budget, you might start with the project, understanding what feeds into that project is a work package. That work package comprises of tasks, and the tasks are described in detail in an engineering document. Maybe those tasks also are related to purchase orders that have suppliers in which you're going to be able to measure things like cost as well as whether you're going to get the supplies on time and risk there. It's about the workers who actually work on the project. And maybe another use case might be around safety and incidents around safety. So being able to attach the workers to the safety incidents attached to the projects and maybe against the risk and opportunity. So really use this to scope out your domain. And this is not done by yourself, right? It's typically the business sponsor with the users that you have in mind and really thinking about what is the meaningful needs that are being addressed. So if we were to pick a different project, you might have a project that looks like maybe a bottom-up, right? I might start with something like a financial report. And I might want to think about all the different users who might want to see this financial data, right? So I might be able to start with the finances and say, well, it might be consumed by users who are, in this case, my case with smart construction, it was all from the same group, right? The project team. But instead, if I might switch it around and say there might be users who are doing analytics. There might be users who are generating their own reports. There might be users in the digital part of the company creating things that are maybe in the websites or for a connected worker sort of application, right? So you could think about it the other direction as well, from the data set or the data asset and outwards, right? But really think about the questions and the job to be done that's trying to be addressed by the data product.